You're watching Bucs Breakdown presented by PrizePicks. Make sure to use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Today's show, we're going to be talking about ESPN. Once again, they listed this Buccaneers player is going to have a breakout season in 2026. I will tell you who that player is in just a second. If you can actually guess who it is by this silhouette, I would be extremely impressed. But if you think the Bucs are going to be better in 2026 than they were last year, make sure to hit the like button. Just straight up, if you think they're going to be better and you're excited for the 2026 season, hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we can get on today's show to show me that you know 2026 Buccaneers players are going to be, and team in general, is just going to be way better than last year. Now, talking about the breakout player that ESPN listed for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2026 is Jalen McMillan. And actually, when I saw this article, I was extremely excited because I feel like we haven't even gotten the best of Jalen McMillan yet, right? He went out in his rookie year with a hamstring injury, didn't play the entire season, and then we lose him in the preseason to a neck injury, and he comes back week 15. But, I just feel like year 3 is the time for him to really step up. And now that Mike Evans is gone, somebody like Jalen McMillan is a guy that I can see breaking out in 2026. So let's see what ESPN has to say. This is our show breakdown. I'm going to give you guys what we're about to talk about so you know what's coming up, right? See what ESPN has to say. We'll see their quotes, everything, break it down like that. I'll give you my top 5 breakout players that I think Jalen McMillan is one of them, but I'm going to give you 5 other ones that I think could break out in 2026. And then I'm going to ask you your breakout players at the end of the show. So get thinking right now. If it's the same as me or you have a different one, let me know in the comments section at the end of today's show. So let's see what ESPN has to say. I have not been shy about my lofty exceptions for second-year wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, who I think can lead the league in receptions with coordinator Zach Robinson now calling the plays. But Emeka Egbuka was splitting number 3 receiver snaps last season with McMillan, who's an impressive receiver in his own right. So let's take a pause on what ESPN said and sort of look at where McMillan was towards the end of the season, right? He comes back from that neck injury. Week 15, he had 26 snaps outside wide and only 6 in the slot. So that's really where Chris Godwin was. And then week 18, he had 13 in the slot, but it was really, really more the outside receiver position, right? And now that Mike Evans is gone, this wide receiver depth chart looks a lot different. Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver 1. Jalen McMillan, wide receiver 2. Chris Godwin, wide receiver 3. I mean, Chris Godwin's mostly going to be in the slot, but Jalen McMillan, I think, is going to be that outside receiver. Ted Hurst, obviously, you draft him. He's a big body wide receiver. I don't think he's going to get starting reps, though. I believe Jalen McMillan will be heavily used this year on the outside, right? Production-wise, he's going to be on the outside. I mean, Ted Hurst, he's not going to get those reps yet. He is going to be rotated into the wide receiver room and sort of like that outside wide receiver. But Jalen McMillan, I think ESPN is kind of onto something in terms of that breakout guy, right? He's heavily going to be used this year on the outside with no Mike Evans, and he has to step up as well as Emeka Egbuka. But Emeka Egbuka is that Z receiver. We need that X receiver. I think Jalen McMillan at 6'1", 200 pounds can be that type of guy. Now, coming up, I got more on what ESPN has to say. We're going to go through the rest of the quotes and what they're talking about how Jalen McMillan can break out in 2026. But I obviously have to give a huge shout out to the sponsor that makes this show completely free for you guys, and that is our friends over at SeatGeek. If you guys are looking to get out of the house and go to a game, go to a concert, anything like that, SeatGeek is the place to go. Now, we've talked about SeatGeek before. If you guys are looking for tickets, make sure to go use SeatGeek. The MLB is in full swing, so if you're trying to go out to a ball game, I love that. Getting a hot dog, hanging out with the friends and family. The NBA and NHL, unfortunately, they are all done. But if you guys want to go to a concert or anything like that, or if you guys are like, you know what? I don't care. Read them all about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have tickets on sale right now, as you can see on your screen. Whether it's a baseball game or a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good. The red means bad. And my favorite feature, obviously, is looking at all where you can see the view from your seat. Now, you can see, all right, I got a good deal. That's in green. And you're like, well, what's my view going to look like? You can see it on screen. That's what I love about SeatGeek. And, of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Just click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you so much to SeatGeek. Now, like I said, coming up, we're going to have more about what ESPN had to say about Jalen McMillan becoming that breakout player in 2026, which I really think could happen. Now, more on what ESPN had to say. McMillan, like Ibuka, saw most of his rookie season limited by hamstring issues, and McMillan's 2025 sophomore season was also almost non-existent because of a preseason neck injury. If McMillan can stay on the field, he is the best candidate for outside receiver snaps, and he has the large radius and spectacular catch ability the Bucs need following the departure of Mike Evans. Chris Godwin Jr. won't fall out of the lineup entirely. He's too reliable, but McMillan brings enough juice as a run blocker to eat into those snaps too. So I can't wait for everyone to finally understand that there's a lot more talent in this wide receiver room than just number 13, right? He's a legend. He's a Bucs legend. He's a wide receiver. He's a Hall of Famer, right? But without Mike Evans, this team has a lot more talent that can be used, especially with Zach Robinson coming in. He's going to have a lot of weapons to be able to use in this wide receiver group. And obviously, just Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Cade Otton. There's a lot about this offense that is a lot better than just number 13. And I hope everyone out there realizes that, and they will when they find out what this group can do, because I have a lot of hope for them, and I have a high ceiling of what they can do in 2026. But going back to Jalen McMillan, how many receiving yards do you think Jalen McMillan will have in 2026? I want to ask you guys. Get down in the comment section right now. I don't think he's going to surpass 1,000 yards. I think that's going to be more Emeka Egbuka. If we have 2 1,000-yard receivers on this team, not a lot of people can do that, right? But Jalen McMillan, I think I'm going to go with 788 receiving yards. If I get that right, we're going to come back to this video. I'm going to check every single comment and see if you guys got it right at the end of the season. So let me know down in the comment section. Prove you know ball in the comments. All right. Like I said, going back to our show breakdown, I'm going to give you guys my 5 breakout players for 2026. Now, ESPN gave us Jalen McMillan. I agree with that, right? I think he is maybe my definitely in the top 3 breakout candidates for sure. And by the way, don't forget, if it's one that I'm about to show, let me know, though. Keep it in your head who your breakout candidates could be. All right. Starting at number 5, this is kind of cheating a little bit just because, I don't know. I mean, I think Reuben Bain is going to have an insane rookie season. And anybody who thinks not, I think is just not thinking straight. The guy, if you've watched any of his videos at training or at mini camp and OTAs and everything like that, the guy's a menace, and he just is working so hard. And I know he's probably working at the time of this recording. He's probably working out. So I just know that he's going to have a great season, and he's going to break out. I know he's not breaking out of anything. I just think he's going to have a great rookie season. So that's kind of cheating at number 5. But my real breakout candidate for number 4 would have to be Cade Otton. We talked about Cade Otton on previous videos. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Cade Otton right now because when it comes to the red zone targets, you can throw that in, Jeremy. That's good. Mike Evans had 8 out of the last 58 total red zone receiving targets. And I think when you talk about where Cade Otton's going to be used in the offense, right? I think he's definitely going to be used in the red zone and third down. But I think with Zach Robinson coming in, he uses the 12 personnel a lot. First in the NFL last year, or he was either first or second last year with the Atlanta Falcons. So he uses 2 tight ends a lot. Cade Otton's going to get a lot of run. And I think those receiving targets are going to have to go somewhere in that red zone, right? Cade Otton had 5 last year in 2025. So out of the 58 total, the 8 that Mike Evans had, Emeka Egbuka had 11. Chris Godwin had like 7. So where are those targets going to go? I think a lot of them are going to go to Cade Otton. And I think that's going to be where he's going to break out in 2026, is that red zone short yardage type of plays. All right, moving on to my number 3 breakout candidate. Make sure you're thinking about yours as well as I go through mine. Yaya Diaby. Now, he's not necessarily going to break out, and we know what Yaya Diaby is. I just think he's taking on a new role of sort of having that entire defensive line, or I guess the edge rushers and outside linebackers. He's the captain of that squad, and he's really taking on that role, especially, guys, he looks huge. He's putting in the work this offseason, and it shows. He's poised to have an insane 2026 season. Everything that I've seen about Yaya Diaby, he's got his head on straight, he's focused, he's off-season workout, he's going crazy. I think he is just, there's no way that this defensive line got worse than last year. It's only getting better. Yaya Diaby is going to have a better season than last year. He led the team in sacks last year. So I think him, Reuben Bain Jr., and a lot of the additions that we've made, same thing as Al-Qadim Muhammad, it's just he's going to have a great 2026 season, and he's going to break out. So that's why I put him at number 3, right? Number 4? Number 3. So we got a couple more breakout candidates from my end. Make sure, who do you got? But to make this show free, we have another sponsor on today's show, and that is Prize Picks. You guys know all about Prize Picks. It is the best way to win some cash while watching sports. Now, it is America's #1 sports picks app, as well as mine since 2022. Now, the World Cup is coming to a close, so don't miss out on the deal that we have. Prize Picks is a great way to watch sports and win some money at the same time. I've been using it since 2022. That shows you it is a great app to use. Now, speaking of a great app to use, all of us here at Chat Sports are using it, having some fun, watching sports, winning some money, and I have a big favor to ask for you. We have a big competition here at Chat Sports. I don't know if I'm going to get to 360 followers like Mitchell Renz is, but Mitchell Renz, our Raiders guy, he's got 360. Marsh has 196. Tyler Smith, my good friend, he's got 48. Roley, he's got 41. I'm at 18. If you guys want to follow me on Prize Picks and see all the lineups that I'm doing, like the one that I'm about to show you right here, it is a bonus lineup, actually. Shout out to Prize Picks. They gave me a $15 bonus lineup to win 52. I took some stuff on the World Cup, and it just makes watching the World Cup so much more fun. Actually, as you guys, depending on when you guys are watching this, the France and Morocco game is going on right now. So you guys can look at my lineups right now on the social feeds feature. Give me a follow. Give me more than 18 followers. And you can see all the lineups that I put in. So this lineup right here as well, flex play, $10 to win 280. If you guys are watching this after the France and Morocco game is over, you're probably like, Reid, you're an idiot. None of this was good. But you can see it on the social feeds feature as well. So I have a code for you for new users. Download the PrizePicks app today with the link in the comments and description. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Don't forget, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Make sure to hit me up over there on PrizePicks and give me a great follow so I can try and beat some guys here at Chat Sports. All right, my second breakout candidate, it's got to be Jacob Parrish, right? Jacob Parrish had a fantastic season last year, but when you talk about where he's going to be on the field, I think he's going to be mostly in the nickel. Now, he did say in an interview after practice one day that he was 50-50 snaps outside and in, but as long as Benjamin Morrison can stay healthy, I think Jacob Parrish is going to stay in that nickel, and that's where he's going to thrive, right? That's where he had a great season last year, one of the better rookie seasons that a cornerback has had on the Bucs. And as long as Benjamin Morrison can stay healthy and stay on that outside starting receiver or starting cornerback position, Jacob Parrish in the nickel is going to thrive, and I think he could break out in 2026. So my last breakout player that I think could possibly happen in 2026, it's got to be Bucky Irving, right? Bucky Irving, I feel like, hasn't had the right situation, or I guess the right luck, right? Because in 2024, he had a great season, right? Unbelievable. We were like, oh my God, we found our franchise running back. And then last year he gets hit with the injury bug. and it just wasn't the same. But I think this offense with Zach Robinson is going to be a lot better. So if he can stay healthy, 2026 is going to be a huge season for him because obviously in 2024, 207 carries, over 1,100 yards, averaging just over 5 yards a carry, and he was great in the passing game as well. 8 total touchdowns. I think if he can get back to that 2024 wave, which is like Liam Cohen, and the Liam Cohen offense is very similar to the Zach Robinson offense. So I think he's poised for a great season. So he is my number one breakout player because if you're doing fantasy football, I think Emeka Buka and Bucky Irving are going to be your top 2 guys from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Bucky Irving looks great. He's already out there on the field during minicamp, and he wasn't even supposed to be with his shoulder injury. So I think he's going to be healthy, and as long as he stays that, I think he's going to have a great 2026 season. Now, all the way to the end of today's show, if you waited all the way to the end to tell me who your breakout player was for the 2026 season, let me know down in the comments section right now. Was it one of the guys that I said? Was it somebody else? Please let me know down in the comments section. I love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, guys, if you made it to the end of today's show, that means we're doing something here pretty right. So if you like hearing me talk about the Buccaneers and you love free content, make sure to hit the like button if you're excited for the 2026 season. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. So as always, fire the cannons.